You know, I sometimes don't understand how some Pokemon fans think. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't particularly care for my opinions on the franchise because I've been quite either negative or pessimistic, but I like to see things from both sides. Because, on one hand, you can't be too pessimistic because, well, everything's going to come across as super negative to you. But you can't be too positive either because if your expectations are up here and then what you get is down here, you're left being disappointed again and again and again. Now I know this video not only will be outdated because Pokemon Day at the time of recording is about a month away, but I know some people will probably hate this sort of take, but hear me out. Not every fan does this, obviously, so I'm not grouping everyone together, but there are several people I've talked to that have given me this sort of formula. Pokemon Legends Z-A is going to be a 10 out of 10 experience. How do they know this? Well, because there's three things. Number one, it's Pokemon Legends Arceus was probably the best game they've ever played. So already that's a plus, if it's part of the same series. Number two, the game's going to be delayed. Or it has been delayed from what they think should have been a November release of last year. So having more time to work on a game should be good, and it should actually improve upon the experience. And number three, Mega Evolution is in the game, so it's automatically good. Many of you know that one irks me to no end. I should have made this video a while back because I was hearing these sort of predictions back in the summertime of 2024. But, like, even still, to this day, how do these three things add up to what is a 10 out of 10 from IGN? We know nothing about the game except for those three very vague things. Just because it's a Legends game, it does not necessarily mean it's going to copy everything from Arceus. Even still, should everything be copied over for Arceus? Because while some great foundation and concepts were there, in reality, a lot of it wasn't really that great if you think about it. In any other game, having a whole checklist of things to do would be boring and repetitive and would be scrutinized. But for some reason, when Pokemon does it with their Dex entries, where you fill in a shopping list of different things to do for a certain Pokemon to gain their Dex entry, apparently that's revolutionary. I mean, it's different than what the formula's been doing, but in any other game, that's just boring busy work. And I have played it myself before. It is exciting for a bit because it's new. But oh my god, if you want to finish this game all the way, it is tedious. And this is coming from someone that likes to run laps in RuneScape on an agility course for 8 hours straight. And I find that to be more enjoyable. Probably because I'm just addicted to RuneScape, but there might be a bit of a bias there, I'll admit. But, even still, certain things that should be fun in Legends Arceus, again, great concepts, but not everything in that game was flawless. I would have to say, doing by a quick estimate, maybe a 7 out of 10 at the most. It was good, and the story was pretty fun as well, but there was a lot of things that kind of held it back from being a truly good game. Not saying the game's garbage. I don't know where people are getting 7 out of 10 is basically a 1 out of 10, but that's not what I'm saying. The game is not trash. It's just flawed. Like every other Pokemon game. Now, one thing I will agree with is that if they take some of the things in Legends Arceus and improve upon that in the upcoming game, we actually could have a really great game on our hands. And I'm not denying that whatsoever. In fact, that's what I'm hoping. Especially with the next point, with the more time in the oven. The game's been delayed, and we haven't had a major release of any Pokemon game for an entire year. I don't count TCG Pocket, that's a mobile game. But other than that, yeah, Game Freak has been just... Maybe they have been cooking this whole time. And now, here comes Pessimistic Jump to ruin it. Now, this is more of a Pokemon company doing a stupid thing, more so than Game Freak themselves, but I am praying to God that what I'm about to say is not true. There is a chance, because of the whole Game Freak leak thing, and the day it was supposed to come out, yada yada yada, again, take it with a grain of salt, okay, we get it. I really hope that Pokemon Company isn't faking a delay. And this game has been ready for like 4 or 5 months. And they purposely don't release it just to give the illusion like it's being worked on more. That has happened once before. Not with Pokemon, but I have seen that before. And it's basically, it's deceiving, is what it is. I'm hoping that's just a stupid conspiracy theory that my stupid brain made, and it's not real. I'm just saying I hope that's not it. Because, again, I have to see two different sides. You have the side where, oh hey, they're working on the game longer, that's great. And then you have the, I sure hope they're working on the game longer, that would be great. Because that would absolutely suck if we think it's delayed, and then the first gameplay trailer, because we haven't seen anything yet, the first gameplay trailer runs at Scarlet and Violet frame rate again. Or actually, now that I think about it, the first trailer for Legends Arceus ran horrible too, didn't it? So yeah, I'm hoping that when they do the vertical slices on this next trailer that they show some really good stuff and not anything that may look questionable, and not only have it be a Mega Evolution showcase, just like they did with RS. That's another thing too. Now what I really don't understand is the whole Mega Evolutions in the game, it's automatically good thing. I understand. Yes, I will admit right off the bat, if you're new here, I hate Mega Evolution with a burning passion. I will never like the mechanic. I've always hated it since the day it debuted. You will never change my mind. Why do I hate it? Not to be an asshole, but I just feel like it's a mechanic that's blown out of proportion. People really only truly like it for the badass designs, even though personally I don't think they're badass at all. I just think Pokemon Company's trying way too hard to be edgy and failing, with the exception of a couple of designs like Ampharos and Pidgeot, for example. And in reality, having this stuff in PvP is an absolute nightmare, especially back in Gen 6, where you've seen the same 4 Pokemon over and over again just because they're meta. I understand there's a meta in Scarlet and Violet as well, but at least there's a heck of a lot more variety there than seeing a Heracross in somebody's party and automatically knowing what the hell it's going to do before the battle even starts. Again, I understand that's also in Scarlet and Violet with, I guess, Terra Dragonite, for example, but it's not as obvious, because at least with Terra Dragonite, there are other builds that could throw things around. Heracross, with its Mega, is the only good thing it can do. So when you see the dang thing, you already know what's happening. I understand that Legends Z-A is most likely going to be a single-player experience, and there's most likely not going to be any PvP. So I'm curious to see how they expand upon with Mega Evolution there. Is it just going to be a just power fantasy again? Or will they do something like, and I can't believe I'm saying this because holy crap, where am I going? Like Pokemon Go and give special perks and benefits in addition to just being more powerful. Maybe have a Mega Evolved Pokemon in your party and gain special perks with it. Maybe gain better crafting in certain things, or having like a type bonus when you're catching certain things. Honestly, if they go down that road, I'd probably would approve it more. But if their entire focus is only going to be, oh hey, look at the new Megas, buy our game, that's an immediate turnoff for me. Because, I'm sorry, I'm not one of those people that say, oh my god, Mega Flygon's in it, pre-order. I can't do that. And I don't understand how anybody else could pre-order either. If that's the only thing they're showing in the trailer, and people are willing to pre-order that without any actual good gameplay, and it's only a showcase of new Mega Evolution, I mean, I'm sorry, that just doesn't seem like a... I mean, that's really all it takes for someone to be satisfied with the game? Is just that? I mean, you do you, I guess, whatever you think is great, but like, if the game runs at 15 frames per second, don't pretend all the problems don't exist like you did with Scarlet and Violet just because your favorite Mega Evolution's in it now. You can enjoy them all you want, but don't pretend like it's a perfect game just because they exist in it. Now, a lot of the things that I mentioned, again, you could see it as a B plus C equals perfect game. Because it if they do improve upon the foundation of Arceus and like basically tweak the things that did work or didn't work quite right and expand upon the things that did with the extra time they have, then I can see it being a great game. Just as long as it's not a Mega Evolution history lesson simulator like ORAS was again. I mean, to be fair, I'm the minority when it comes to this. So if I hate it, that's just one out of like 10 million fans. Or at least I think so. I know back in 2015 it felt like that. Is there more people that hate it now? I honestly don't know. Now the question is, will I not get the game if Mega Evolution is the main focus? And the answer is, well, I guess a maybe at this point. It just really depends on where the focus is. If Mega Evolution is a big part of it, but it's not the primary focus, and there's a lot of things like in addition to it that like use Mega Evolution to its benefit, and it's not, that's perfectly fine, just as long as there's still like a good amount of things to do in the game. But if really all this is just, hey, look at the megas, buy our game, and the main selling point is them, it just seems more of just like a corporate way to make quick sales than it is making a good game. That's how I felt with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because there was really good things with that game, but looking at all like the trailers and then looking at the main, like the whole story was based off of Mega Evolution, it just seemed just more of just like a way to capitalize on what's popular more so than actually making a good game out of it. I'm not saying the game was garbage like I was back in 2015. I've changed since then. I'm not that biased. But it just something like that just doesn't really sit well with me. And another thing before I go, because I feel like this is pretty important. I haven't forgotten about the Power World lawsuit there, guys. If up on Pokemon Day, we get a gameplay trailer, and it looks and runs anything like it did in Scarlet and Violet, I am absolutely not giving you my purchase. Why? Because, to me, it looks like you put more time and money and effort into suing your competition, rather than actually using that money and time and effort making a better game. And if your main focus is, just put megas in it, they'll eat it up. Sorry, I'm not one of those fans. I can't support that. There's no way I can. It just comes across as just arrogant and, you'll eat our slop anyway. That's basically what BDSP was. And unfortunately, I did eat the slop. And I never got my refund. But I ain't making that same mistake again. I suppose there's one other thing, too, that'll make me not buy the game. And if he gets a Mega Evolution of his own.